What's going on, guys? My apologies for the late video this week. Typically in the past I've been thrown off by the Thanksgiving holiday, and it happened again this year, so I apologize for that, but I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, enjoyed the Bills win over Cincinnati, got to kind of sit on that over the holiday, so it didn't really, ruin your holiday, I suppose. But they still have time to ruin Christmas, I guess. I'm kidding, hopefully not. Having gone to the game against Cincinnati, it was not a very good game, you might have realized. But the Bills won. Shout out to the Cincinnati fans. You guys are way better than Browns fans. I was impressed, I guess I would say. I was looking for things to try to critique, and other than having a Buffalo wing stand with a long line of Bengals fans while you're playing the Buffalo Bills, couldn't really find too much to complain about. Everyone was pretty nice, talking football and everything. I like that. Tailgating scene is not nearly what it is in Buffalo, but we kind of knew that across the league already, didn't we? Anyway, the Bills win 16-12. It was kind of a game where it seemed like nobody wanted to win. The Bengals are there. They're begging the Bills to put them away towards the end of the game. The Bills just can't slam the door on them. Bills get inside the 5-yard line, 3 times, and kicked field goals 3 times. Like, it was just score a touchdown. Slam the door on these guys. And then you don't end up in situations like you did on the last drive where, a fluke play, it could come down to a fluke play to basically end your season. Because you go to 4-6, it's done. And conversely, you could say the same thing about the Bengals, because they really needed to win. I mean, they're in a bit of a weaker division that they could still win, I suppose. But they really, of course, losing A.J. Green on the second play didn't help. But it is, and losing Giovanni Bernard for the foreseeable future doesn't help either. But the Bills shouldn't have to apologize for guys getting hurt. It's not their fault. They won. It wasn't pretty from Tyrod. In fact, I think we all wanted to see him carry over that performance from the Seattle game over the bye and into this game, and it just wasn't there. He missed a couple throws. Seeing the game, I saw the game from the end zone, so I got to see the perspective of the game, if you follow me. And granted, I'm a little bit higher up, and I will say it does seem like Tyrod leaves throws on the field. From that perspective, it sure does. I'm not a coach. I'm not even an analyst or anything. I just do this for fun. You guys watch because, I don't know, maybe I'm like somebody said in the comments last week, a relatable Bills fan, and I appreciate that. But from my perspective, Tyrod's leaving throws on the field. The middle of the field, deep down the field that he usually isn't too hesitant to take, but it's there. I don't know what to tell you, really. He just it's like teams dare him to throw it sometimes, and he just doesn't do it. And granted, he's really elusive on his feet, and that's one of his biggest strengths. Just seems like sometimes he panics too fast, maybe. And one thing I will give him a real good amount of credit for is he always keeps his eyes downfield. He always looks like he's interested in throwing the ball. Even maybe he's not. Maybe because he runs, quite frequently. But he at least gives off the perception that he will throw it downfield. And I like that about him. Bottom line is, the Bills are 13-11 games he started. So, barring some sort of ridiculous collapse or something ridiculous option coming available in the offseason, I think you're going to get Tyrod next year. If Rex is here, Tyrod's here, I think that's just the way it's going to be. And I know that this is a premature conversation about that, but that's just where I feel after 10 games. Was bummed to see the injury to Woods. I hope he bounces back. Really pumped about getting Sammy back this week against the Jags. Hopefully he's good to go. Needed the rest. Hopefully he's solid. McCoy should be good to go. I've dislocated my thumb before. It's very painful, and it sucks, but, I don't think it really affects you running the football. I mean, it might be a little bit painful. They'll probably wrap it up with something, but I fully expect McCoy to play, I guess is what I would say. I don't think his status is in doubt at all. And the Bills need him. Look what happened in the second half when he couldn't come back. Not a lot going on there. Finally got Harvin a little bit more involved, but offense leaves a lot to be desired. And this week, at home, against the Jags, this is the kind of opponent that you need to maybe get your offense moving here. It was from longest yard. It's a tune-up game. You just need to kick the crap out of somebody. The Bills typically aren't that team, and Jacksonville is a very deceiving 2-8 team. They're not all that bad. Some of the stats, I guess, are deceiving, but bottom line, they are 2-8. That's the way it is. And the Jaguars are 25th overall, 21st overall in total offense, 16th passing the ball, 26th rushing the ball, 27th in points per game. That sounds like a 2-8 team. About 19 points per game. They're 25th in yards per play, 28th in third down percentage, 15th in first downs per game. Kind of sounds like a 2-8 team, but the weapons are sort of there. Doesn't really make sense. I think that a lot of fans of football, and maybe even the Bills and the Jaguars and everybody, just thought that, and fantasy football fans especially, thought that the Jaguars would just be a better team. But they're just not meshing all together. Allen Robinson's having down years compared to last year. Allen Hurns is kind of invisible. Marquise Lee's coming out and being, the player that the Jags wanted him to be, that Allen Hurns sort of took over for in the previous season, last season. But they can't run the ball. T.J. Yeldon might not even play. Doesn't look like he didn't practice all week. Chris Ivory's there. Rex knows him pretty well, and Chris Ivory's a handful. But the line isn't that good. And they don't have a tight end. Mercedes Lewis went to IR. Julius Thomas is not going to play with a back injury. I know Ben Koyak or whatever. If there are any Jags fans out there, though, however many there are, Ben Koyak. Tell me about Ben Koyak, because everyone seems to love him. He seems to be such a popular guy on Twitter. Or a popular, on Jags Twitter, which does exist. The biggest problem for the Jags has been turnovers. They are last in the league. Turnover differential, -15. The Bills are 4th at +8. But Jacksonville's, like I said, despite the fact that they're 2-8, 5 of those 8 losses have been by one score. They're just 1-4 on the road, though, and they've only beaten Chicago. So, and the other team they beat was Indianapolis in London, which is kind of a road game, I guess. And Indianapolis looks, that's a completely different discussion. They don't look good. They don't look good, that's for sure. I guess the defense is the story for the Jags. Although they are 25th in points per game allowed, almost 27 points, they're 7th overall on defense, 6th in yards per play against, 6th in first downs per game against, just 23rd in third down percentage. Maybe that's a product of the amount of turnovers that Blake Bortles is creating. The guy throws pick sixes left and right. So there you go. There's your keys for the Bills. This is a team you gotta win this game. I feel like I can't remember when it was. Maybe 2007 or 8, when the Bills had a chance to sort of jump back into the playoffs. I feel like, and they played the Niners, who were 3-8 or something like that. Sean Hill, and they beat us like 10-6. Lindell missed like a 23-yard field goal. It was a really windy day. I can't handle that kind of game right now. I need the Bills to come in here, take care of business, get things going on track. Defense plays well. I don't care about Jacksonville's defense. I don't care about Jalen Ramsey, about Devon House, about Prince Mukamara, Cyprian. I like all these guys, actually. Gibson, Postlesny's back. I don't think Scuda, I believe, has been ruled out. Odrick is ruled out. Malik Jackson is still there. Telvin Smith, obviously. But we're better. We are flat out better in Jacksonville, bottom line. Bills are going to beat the Jaguars on Sunday. This is tomorrow, like I said, late video. Bills are going to beat them 27-20. Let's go with 27-20. Guys, a little bit of an abbreviated video this week. I want you guys to, sort of watch it. Like I said, I apologize for the delayed video this week just because of the holidays. I'll be back next week when the Bills are 6-5, right? Have a good weekend. As always, guys, go Bills.